What up, what up, what up?
Hello.
We are Married Explorers TK coming to you from our
Empty apartment. Why is our
getting close to
apartment
be
empty?
empty apartment with an
Bec-
empty, kind of emptying closet in the background.
but why? Because we're getting ready to live a mini life. Um, Check out our Instagram for that, or read the rest of the blog.
Mm-hmm.
But so we thought for this blog we would kind of go into some discussions and topics that we had to figure out before we even decided if we can do this sort of lifestyle. Do we want to?
Where would we go?
Should we? So the topics that we kind of discussed.
3 topics.
Topic one.
1, finances. 2, logistics. 3, how does this fit in with your life plans and goals?
Yeah. So kind of questions that we asked, more financial based. I would say is, what do we think it'll cost to do this?
I mean, what do you pay now in monthly expenses? I'm hoping, well, however you live your life, however you budget your life and your expenses, what are you doing now versus what you think you can afford if you decided to do a mini life?
Kind of do some research on what it would cost to have somewhere to live in. Kind of, I guess, what utilities, what extra costs would there be? Are there any costs in your current life that would be going away?
That you can reallocate to
Yeah.
other areas.
Yeah.
Some examples of additional costs would be, maybe you're going to be gone for a while, and you might need to look into a PO box.
How do you get mail?
Yeah.
Sort of logistics, but
Yeah, if you're going through a transition and you need to move, you may need to look into a storage locker situation. So just additional costs that you should keep in mind of while planning a mini life.
Yeah.
So something to think about in terms of the financial world.
Yeah, so overall we would say when you're having this discussion with your partner, just make sure, kind of do your research, see what will this actually cost us, and then can we afford it, and also are we comfortable spending that amount on this. So those would be things that you should agree with your partner on before you do this sort of lifestyle.
Create a budget, have a budget so that
Yeah.
you know.
And we don't think you necessarily need a line by line budget, but just kind of like, how much do we think we'll spend on food if we, like, are we going to continue to truck? So this kind of goes hand in hand with logistics, so we'll segue
We'll just
to
jump right into logistics then.
too.
So number 2, logistics.
Logistics.
So couple questions to think about logistics and when you want to take a mini life. First is, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
What do you envision in your mini life? You're picking up, you're packing up, and you're going to go to a new place. Maybe not for your normal 1 week, 2 week vacation, but for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
Where's the
Where-
place that you want to go?
Yeah, where, like, legit, like, town, city, where do you want to go? And kind of where do you want to live in? Like, what does your day-to-day look like? Like, are you in
Mountains,
an apartment,
forest?
house, camping, van,
Cabin.
a cabin? Like, what is logistics? What does it look like? Kind of, I would say, sort of when we were talking about storage lockers, like, what are you going to do with your stuff? Like, do I still need all my stuff? Like, what is my life? What is my new life? What am I envisioning? Like, working. Do you need to be able to work from that place? Like, your regular hours?
Wi-Fi, high-speed Wi-Fi.
Yep. Do you need to telework? Are you going to be looking for work there? Sort of, yeah, just all those fun.
A lot of logistical things.
Logistical things.
For example, if you're gonna go to if you're gonna go to snowy conditions for a month, if you want to go up in the mountains or just
Great
a place
point.
that.
Like, what kind of clothes are you going to need
What
when
kind
you're
of clothes
there?
are you gonna need? If you're going from California
What
to
are-
Michigan, you're probably going to want to take some warm clothes
Yeah.
at this time of year.
And then great point too, if you're going from point A to point B, how are you going to get there? How are you going to bring your stuff with you?
Train,
What stuff do you
car,
want to bring
bus,
with you?
Yeah.
Like, lots of logistics to cover. So I would think kind of just having an overarching, just brainstorm game plan with your partner would be important. So you guys kind of have a similar thought and feel to what life will look like.
Or if you go alone, have that internal debate with yourself, with pros and cons lists, etc.
True. And then the third topic, goals, dreams, life plan.
I think part of the fun of thinking about these mini lives is what have you always wanted to do in your life that maybe you didn't feel like you had the opportunity in the past, but it's time that you took that next step, so to speak. So for example, if you found yourself wanting to, live in a cabin next to the lake, how does this fit into your life goals? Is this crossing off a bucket list? Is this going to allow you to assess whether this is something you want to do for the rest of your life, maybe, to get out of your normal day-to-day?
Like, where's somewhere you thought maybe I want to live there or be in that sort of neighborhood, but you don't actually know because you've never done it, so it's a good way to, like, test it out, try it. And I guess leading into that, too, is the question sort of, is this mini life, is it just a bunch of experiences you're going to do for a couple months and then you're going to go back to life as usual? Are you going to leave it open to afterwards, and is this going to now be your permanent life potentially? Like, what are really those plans? And I would say, again, since it's a Married Explorers blog, like, discuss that with your partner. Like, have you talked about things before that you wanted to do? Can you make it work now? Like, what do you want to achieve? Like for us, we definitely did also have a conversation about retirement too, which also sort of goes into finances. Like, what does your life look like together long term instead of just in the immediate future? Is another good, I think, conversation to have before you decide to pack up and
do you want to wait for retirement to have a mini life, or do you want to do it right now while you feel like you have the energy and the willpower to do it?
And again, we keep saying mini lives, but we do have a blog about this, so check out our blog for the full details instead of just our decision questions and conversations that we had.
Yep. All right. Well, we very much appreciate your time this morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching and listening to us.
And we wish you luck.
And we wish you luck in your finance planning, your logistical planning, and your life planning.
And hopefully these conversations are more fun than daunting. If they're too daunting and stressful, then maybe that's your answer there.
Feel free to send us an email if you have any questions, and maybe we can help you out.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Click.
Click,
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 click, click.
click.